What's up, subscribers? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, as requested, we'll be talking about some updates for Advaxis stock, trading under the ticker ADXS. But first, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so that you get notifications about our future videos talking about the stock market and personal finances. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the links in the description to get your free shares of stock from Webull whenever you open and fund your account, as well as $10 of free Bitcoin from Coinbase whenever you open your account and make your first $100 purchase of cryptocurrency. So grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage of choice, and let's jump into it. Speculative penny stocks this past week in the stock market continued to get absolutely hammered, Advaxis included, with Advaxis down approximately 25% this past week and closing out the trading week at around 47 cents per share. But despite the stock market volatility, what's been going on with Advaxis fundamentally as a company? In my opinion, here in the month of April, Advaxis has provided shareholders with some positive news. On April 5th, they announced an agreement with Columbia University to fund Phase 1 trials for the treatment of early prostate cancer, with this study expected to begin Q2 of 2021 and focused on evaluating the safety and tolerability of Advaxis monotherapy in the treatment of patients with recurrent prostate cancer. And then on April 10th, Advaxis provided shareholders with some additional news when they presented their translational biomarker data for the treatment of lung cancer at the AACR 2021 annual meeting. In this poster presentation, Advaxis demonstrated that flow cytometry data confirmed the on-mechanism activation of both the innate and adaptive immune systems in patients receiving combination treatment of their ongoing study drug, ADXS 503, in combination with Keytruda. In this presentation, the data demonstrated proliferation and activation of natural killer cells, CD8 positive T cells, as well as increased PD-1 expression, suggesting that Advaxis' medication ADXS 503 could potentially resensitize as well as enhance patient responses to Keytruda, and potentially suggest this combination therapy in the treatment of patients with non-small cell lung cancer. In addition to the news about their ongoing clinical studies, on April 12th, Advaxis also announced a $20 million registered direct stock offering, with this direct offering stemming from an agreement with two institutional investors for the purchase of 17.5 million shares of common stock, as well as 7.6 million warrants, with an exercise price of 70 cents per share, with Advaxis planning to use the proceeds from this offering to fund its continued research and development to continue to study the products in its pipeline. So what does this direct share offering mean for individuals who were already invested in Advaxis? Here in the short term, it's not great news because it means shareholder dilution. But in the long term, I think it was a necessary move that Advaxis had to make. Advaxis is still an extremely small market cap company, currently with a market capitalization of approximately $64 million at the time that I'm recording this video. And without any medications in their pipeline yet receiving FDA approval, it's my opinion that Advaxis needs to prioritize ensuring that they have the appropriate amount of funds to continue to study and develop their pipeline. So while here in the short term, shareholder dilution is an unfortunate side effect for current shareholders, in my opinion, it's a necessary move that Advaxis management had to make, as well as an inherent risk that all investors in Advaxis should have known going into this investment. Developing therapeutics isn't something that happens overnight. It's a long process that requires due diligence to ensure safety and efficacy. So with that said, Advaxis is not a stock that I expect to skyrocket here in the short term. While the data that they have released so far from their studies is promising, it will still be a while before they're able to check all of the boxes in order to ensure that their medications are safe and efficacious in order to gain FDA approval. But in the event that their studies don't pan out and the medications are either found to have adverse effects or no clinical benefit, then there is an inherent risk that Advaxis as a company could fail. Now personally, based on what I've learned about Advaxis, I feel that that's a very low risk, but nonetheless, it is a risk that all investors need to be aware of whenever they decide to invest into ADXS. An investment in a small market cap biopharmaceutical company like Advaxis is an investment that may not show any meaningful ROI until years into the future, and depending on what the FDA studies show, could potentially fail altogether. Now, I'll try not to get on my soapbox too much here, but I know that so many of you guys who are watching these videos just recently got started investing over the past year or so. And after seeing so many different asset classes, ranging from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, to stocks like Tesla, Apple, GameStop, and AMC posting massive gains in a short time frame, I know that many of you may be going into your investments now expecting to make a quick 100% return, if not more, within the matter of a few weeks or even a few days after making your investment. And while I'm extremely happy for those of you who are able to make your quick tendies with those investments, unfortunately for most investments in the stock market, that's not how this works. When you're deciding to invest in a company, I encourage all of you to make sure you're doing your own research, looking into the 10Ks, the 10Qs, listening to the conference calls, and only choosing to invest in a company once you feel like you understand a company's business model at a high level. My main concern for those of you who have just recently started to invest in the stock market is that while you may see some quick returns by following these hype meme stocks that we're seeing on Wall Street Bets or these cryptocurrencies that continue to pump, eventually those pumps are going to stop and you may find yourself on the wrong end of it, losing a ton of money. So with all of that being said, getting back to Advaxis, I still love this company as a long-term investment, and I'm very happy about the news that we were able to see recently on their updates about their clinical trials. But here in the short term, I'd be lying to you if I made any type of short-term prediction about what I think is going to happen with the share price. While I continue to like Advaxis as a long-term investment, here in the short term, there's always a risk that the share price could fall further, as well as the other risks that we already talked about. So just remember, these videos are never medical or financial advice. They're merely me researching a company like Advaxis and talking about my opinions on that company based on that research. Advaxis is a very small market cap penny stock, and there's a ton of risk that comes with an investment in this company. So make sure you're doing your own research and only investing in Advaxis if you're willing to accept those risks. What are your thoughts about Advaxis? Are you invested in ADXS? Are you thinking about investing in this company? Where do you think the share price is going over both the short term and the long term? And what do you think about the news that we talked about here in this video? Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think. And while you're down there, if there are any other stocks or topics that you would like me to talk about in a future video, please feel free to comment that down below as well. As a reminder, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a certified financial planner. I'm a resident physician with an interest in personal finances and investing. Please make sure you're doing your own research before you make any financial decisions. And please be sure to smash that like button and click on the subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm and to help support my channel. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.